Hi Sagittarius, welcome to December 2021. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. So this month we have a new moon eclipse in your sign on December 4th. And then we have a full moon in Gemini in your 7th house of partnership on the 18th. In the meantime, then Venus goes retrograde the next day in Capricorn on the 19th. So we have a lot going on this month. And Mars moves into Sag from Scorpio on the 13th. So let's see, we'll talk about that later. Let's see, for now, what does Sagittarius need to know about love and relationships for the month of December 2021. And happy birthday if you're celebrating a birthday. So let's see, what does Sagittarius need to know about love and relationships? How are you going to finish the year out? What is December going to bring in terms of love and relationships? What do you need to know? Let us see what's coming up. The World. The Page of Wands. The Ten of Wands. The Nine of Swords. The Queen of Wands. The Page of Swords. The Wheel of Fortune. The Seven of Cups. The Five of Wands. The Seven of Pentacles. And the card at the bottom of the deck is the Temperance card. So, starting out, the World is a great card. On the one hand, it means that a cycle is ending in your life, and I feel that you're going to get to put down a burden that you've been carrying, or a weight that you've been worrying about, something that you've been worrying about that's been on your mind, is coming to an end. Something that's been taking up a lot of your time and energy is completing. It could also be, so it could be a relationship ending, or a project, you're finishing up a project, so that it's going to free up some of your time. But the good thing about the World, it's not an unhappy ending. I think it's an ending where everything is coming together. And you're reaching a point, okay, you've completed this cycle, now you're ready to go to the next level. And so you're moving up. And you're also feeling a sense of freedom. The World card is, existing in a state of perfect grace. Like you're either doing work that you love, you're in a relationship where you're happy. Everything seems to be coming together for you at this time. I feel like you're moving out of a dark period and moving into a more prosperous period, or a more successful period. The Page of Wands, that could be good news coming, a message that comes in. You might hear from someone that you haven't talked to in a while, or someone may get in touch with you that brings good news. So I'm feeling, and now you have the Ten of Wands in the past. So you've been carrying a heavy burden. You've been working really hard, and but when you reach the 10, it's like the end of the cycle. So it's like, oh, finally, I've done this. I can put it down. I can put down my burden. You have this Nine of Swords, which is energy that's passing, and that's a card of worry, stress, mental stress. Maybe you're worried about someone that's close to you. You could be worried about someone's health, or you could be worried about just imagining worst case scenarios. That is even fading. Because a lot of times the Nine of Swords energy, it's worry that it's more of a mental thing than a reality. So you're worried about things that may never happen. But that's all fading. So things are, because I think this news that's coming in is going to be good news, and things are changing in a positive way. So you can let go of the worry. You could put down the burden. Now the Temperance card here is telling you that you have to have work-life balance. That's really important at this time, is to have work-life balance. So if you've been working too hard and neglecting relationships, or you've been spending too much time in one area and not another area, it's time to, find that middle ground. If you're having problems within a relationship, it could represent the need for compromise. It doesn't mean that you're not compatible with someone. It just means that you're very different and you have to see things from the other person's perspective. And it can't be either one way or the other. You have to kind of agree to create some kind of win-win where you're both getting what you need and you're making compromises and, you're meeting in the middle. So that's something that's going to help. Coming up in the future, you have the Queen of Wands and you have the Page of Swords. So the Queen of Wands energy could be your energy, where you're taking more of a leadership role, you're going after what you want. But the Page of Swords, that could be that you have to look more carefully into whatever's being presented at this time, like go deeper. Sometimes the Page of Swords can represent gossip or spying. So if you hear something through the grapevine, go to the source and check it out. Don't just believe it, off the top of your head. You need to you might have to have a difficult conversation with someone and clear things up. And that way it would also relieve you of the mental stress. I feel like something needs to be cleared up. A conversation needs to be had in a relationship where, you need to talk about things that may not be uncomfortable, but they will bring you to a good resolution. You have the Wheel of Fortune here. The Wheel of Fortune is things are changing. So if you've been really stressed out and you've been under a lot of, working really hard, worried about things are changing. And I feel like you have the Seven of Cups here, which is in your environment. You're going to be presented with multiple opportunities. And you're going to have to decide, where do I want to focus my energy and what do I really want? Because up till this point, you've been dreaming about what you want to do in a relationship. Like you may have more than one person and you have to choose between, if you're dating different people, you might have to make a choice. Okay, I want this person over that person because I can't keep this up. If it's a work situation, it could also be a work situation where you're offered multiple, creative projects. You can go in different directions with your life. And you just have to choose and take action and not just dream about it, go for it. If there's a relationship situation where you're in some type of conflict, this can sometimes represent the other person's feelings. And maybe the person you're dealing with is confused about what they want. They don't know what they want and they're trying to make a decision. And they haven't taken action. And that could frustrate you as a Sag, because as a fire sign, fire signs like to take action. They like to be direct. They like to, tell me, lay the cards on the table, let me know where I stand. You could be dealing with someone who is kind of like wishy-washy, and that can be frustrating. But I think that you should definitely have that difficult conversation. When you have the Page of Swords here, it's about communication. But it's also about, it's not what you say, but how you say it. So you want to watch your communication style. Make sure you're not coming on too strong or too bossy, because that could hurt a relationship. In your wish fulfillment sector, you have the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands energy is an energy of, it could be competition. So some of you might be competing with someone else for someone's love. It could also be internal conflict, where you're conflicted about a partner or a relationship. And you're fighting over petty details. You're not really dealing with the real issue. So that's why the Page of Swords to me just stands out, where you have to really go deeper. You have to go beneath the surface instead of fighting on, who left clothes in the hamper or out of the hamper or whatever. Or, go deeper and fight. What's the real issue here? What is it that we really are fighting over? And how can we resolve this? And this is your answer here. Compromise. Seeing things from the other person. Being willing to speak. Being willing to listen. To hear the other person's side. And being willing to meet in the middle. You have the Seven of Pentacles here. That's a card of kind of waiting and seeing. Like maybe you're not sure where this relationship is going and you're just playing a wait and see game. Like, let's see what happens. Because there are some conflicts that have to be resolved. And you have these two sevens here, so that's a card of those are cards of transition. It's like everything's kind of up in the air. You're transitioning from one state of being to another. You could be transitioning from one relationship to another. But whatever it is, the dust hasn't settled, and there are some things that still need to be worked out. But I feel like you are going to get good news. You are in a position to move the relationship to another level, but you have some details to discuss. So don't avoid the conversation, even though it might be difficult. And that can help maybe sort out the confusion so that you can make a choice and you can take that leadership role and move something forward. So let's see what the astrology has to say. So definitely you have a new moon eclipse in your first house. In your first house, it's like a rebirth for you. You're like turning over a new leaf. You're presenting yourself in a new way. It gives you a chance. Some new opportunities are coming your way, strong, powerful, and there could be some opportunities where you have to make a quick decision because eclipses, sometimes that energy speeds up your timeline. So you may have to decide, do I want to commit to this thing? You may get another offer. It could be a job or even a relationship where, you're leaving one relationship or you have a sudden new beginning in a relationship where you have to make a quick decision. Communication is going to be important at this new moon. Mercury is here. Speaking up, telling, the other thing though, like with the Mercury aspect in Sag is, and especially this new moon in Sag, your belief systems are being challenged. What you believe is possible is being challenged. Do you believe that you can have this love and relationship? Do you believe that you can have the success? Do you believe that you can make a difference in your life? There may be some changes in work or health because you have Uranus going in the 6th house. And Uranus brings surprises. So if you've been overworking, you need to take it easy and rest. Don't burn the candle at both ends. There could also be changes on the job where you're getting more responsibility or you're, juggling two things. At some point, you're going to have to figure out what can I do? Because Sag wants to take it all, wants to take on everything. You have to know what your limits are. You don't want to have your health suffer or be so overworked and so tired that you don't have time for love, that you don't have time for relationships or family. Maybe you're sacrificing too much. And this could, this eclipse can bring things to the surface in an urgent way where you have to take action. You can't wait any longer. You have Venus and Pluto in your 2nd house. That could be a money combination. I mean, if it's love, it'll be an intense love, but there could be some challenges around finances that have to be worked out. Venus, though, usually in the 2nd house, brings money in. So there could be some unexpected windfall that comes in. Like you get a promotion, you're making more money, you get a new job offer. It could be even a relationship that gives you more confidence and you go after, something that you've always wanted to. You have the passion and the intimacy you've always wanted. You have Mars going through the 12th house. So it's sextile this Venus and Pluto. So you're really working on yourself. You've been working on some of these unconscious programs to try and to release, old baggage. You've really been doing a lot of work, and it's going to be showing this month, especially around the eclipse. Mars in the 12th could sometimes mean hidden anger that you're not expressing. You might be feeling resentful in a relationship and not talking about what's really bothering you. So you need to speak up, resolve it. And things might happen around this eclipse. Eclipses sometimes can eclipse a male figure from your life, or it could represent a sudden ending and a sudden new beginning simultaneously. And you have to make a quick decision. It pushes up your timeline. You have Jupiter in the 3rd. So Jupiter is bringing abundance through family and friends and siblings and your immediate family. It's through communication. The only thing is, Mars is squaring Jupiter, so you want to make sure that when you are taking action, and Mars in Scorpio cuts to the chase, you don't want to be too hurtful if you're bringing something up. You just want to, state your case, say what you need to say, but consider, it's not, like I said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Just be careful that you don't go over the top. Because with Jupiter's exaggeration, there's, it's abundance. So in a good way, it brings abundance. But if you're doing something where your passions are activated, you may go over the top with the communication. So you want to watch that. Let's see what else is happening here. Venus is sextile Mars, great for love and, passion. Great for taking action towards someone that you love, action towards money. Saturn is squaring Uranus this month. This is the last square of the year. We've been battling this the whole year. So, and Saturn, where is Saturn in your chart? Saturn is in your 3rd house and Uranus is in your 6th house. So there could be you may feel like you need to be free of something. You might be battling Uranus in the 6th. Maybe you decided you want to change your career or change your job or change the work that you do because you feel oppressed or you feel like you can't communicate properly. Like there's a battle with authority between what you want to do and what, authority has a different idea and they want you to do something different. And so there could be some kind of battle in those realms and you may feel like I need to do something. I need to be free. I want to be free. I want to be, free to serve in my own way. I don't want to be limited by authority and by conservative thinking. So that could be an issue that comes up. Then we have the full moon in Gemini. So things are coming to a head this month. You may have this new beginning at the eclipse and then you work everything out by the full moon. Whatever has been hidden from you will come to the surface, especially in relationships, not just marriage, but also business partnerships. So the moon will be in your 7th house. The sun will be in your 1st house. Something is completing, coming to conclusion. Something's finishing up. So you could either be making a commitment or ending a partnership. It could go either way. But whatever you're doing, it's going to bring abundance to your life because Jupiter is trine this moon and it's coming from the 3rd house. So maybe you finally speak up and you make changes in a relationship and you come to a new understanding with each other. It doesn't have to be a breakup. It could just mean a new phase in the relationship where you come to an understanding because you spoke up. You didn't hold things back. And so Jupiter brings abundance and opportunity. So you may have the opportunity with the 3rd house. There could be some type of communication project, or you could be reconnecting with relatives. If you haven't spoken to siblings or family in a while, this full moon could bring things back together. You can come back together with people because you spoke up before, because you talked about your differences, and you're creating greater harmony. Again, Venus and Pluto, they're going to conjunct this month. Probably before this full moon, just before the full moon. And that's going to affect your money. There could be powerful transformations because the 2nd house is the house of finances, but it's also the house of what do I need to feel secure and self-worth, self-esteem, your value. So if you haven't felt valued, this could be a game changer. Where you suddenly feel you're getting the love and the money that you deserve and you're feeling valued. If not, the Pluto will transform how you view yourself, what you're willing to settle for, and you may make some changes if you're not getting what you deserve. Mercury's in your 2nd house at this point. It's moved from Sag into Capricorn. So you're coming up with money-making ideas. You might even be signing contracts. You might be starting something new that's going to bring more money into your life. So that's good. Whatever you're putting into place, it's going to last a long time. And Mercury is trining Uranus, so this opportunity could come out of the blue. Uranus is like surprise, surprise changes, but it's a trine. So you're being really creative. You're coming up with like a genius idea. When Mercury and Uranus are in trine, that's the work of genius. Like all of a sudden you're like, why didn't I think of that? And you have to put it into action because it's going to bring you abundance and money. It's going to change your financial situation in a positive way, but not only that, it's going to change how you view yourself, how you feel about yourself. It's going to help your self-esteem. Mars is in the 1st. At this point, Mars has moved into Sagittarius. When Mars goes into Sag, you're going to hit the ground running. So because Mars in the 12th house, you feel tired. You don't have the energy. It's like, I want to do all these things, but I just don't have the energy. I'm just not feeling right. When Mars crosses the ascendant and comes into your 1st house, it's like you get this boost of energy. and you're going to be running. You're going to be raring to go. And Mars is opposing the North Node in Gemini in your 7th house. So if your relationships are not what you want them to be, you're going to take action to make them. You're going to speak up. You're going to talk about it. If something's bothering you, when Mars crosses that ascendant, you're going to start to talk up. You're going to speak up. That's happening mid-December. December 13th is when Mars moves into Sag. It conjuncts the South Node and it opposes the North Node a few days later. So what that's telling you is you have to break the old pattern. Mars is like activating your South Node and where you've been. Like, okay, this is where I've been. This is how I normally respond to things. I have to respond in a different way. I have to change how I act in a relationship. It's not just romantic relationships. It's also business partnerships. And it revolves around being more open to change, being more open to discussion, not being rigid. Because with Sagittarius has a tendency to say, this is the truth, and I don't want to hear anything else. It's my way, and there ain't no highway. Gemini is more like, well, let's hear different sides. Let's see, So you have to be more open. You have to be willing to communicate, willing to receive from others, willing to compromise. That's going to be key this month. If you can do that, then you're golden. You could really make some major changes that bring more abundance and more love into your life. Now, Venus is going retrograde. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about. Venus will go retrograde on the 19th, the day after this full moon. She's already in the shadow, in Capricorn, and that's in, let's see what house that's in for you. That's in your 2nd house. Aha. Oh, yeah. So definitely the focus, as long as Venus is going retrograde, then forward, back and forward, when a planet moves back and forth in a certain area in our lives, it brings that area more into focus. So the focus this month is about money, security, self-worth. And when Venus retrogrades, you have a chance to redo how you're dealing with that area of your life. So how am I handling my money? Maybe you might want to reinvest things or change the way you're investing money, the way you're saving money, the way you're spending money. Do I really need all these things I've been buying? What do I value? What's really important? Am I getting paid what I'm worth? Am I getting the love that I deserve? Venus is going to have you revisit those areas and think about changing your strategy. It could also bring a love from the past back into your life, and you get a chance to revisit that and try that. Try to rework something and make it better. It's not great for starting new things when Venus is retrograde, so you don't want to get married under a Venus retrograde or start a brand new relationship under a Venus retrograde, or even start a business under Venus retrograde, because you don't want the energy to be weak. When Venus is retrograding, it's weak, and Venus rules money. You want Venus moving forward. But it's great for, and it's not good to decorate or, cosmetic surgery, those kinds of things. You may change your mind because you're thinking your needs are different, and you may pick something out that you like today, like don't get the big tattoo sleeve, and then like 3 months from now, when Venus goes direct in the end of January, you're like, what the hell did I do? I don't even like this thing, these colors, So make sure that you just take your time if you're making any kind of permanent commitment. But it is great to go back to the plan, go back to the drawing board and reconfigure, recalculate, okay, how am I dealing with this situation? How can I make changes that are going to make things better in the future? So it's not something to be feared. It's just, it gives us a chance to rest and think about our strategy and make a better strategy. And like I said, you've got Mercury trining Uranus. So you're going to come up with some really brilliant ideas that you could start working on, maybe not launch until after Venus goes direct, but you could do the prep work now. And it's going to bring you to a more successful period next year. So that's my forecast, Sag. I hope you enjoyed this reading. And if you did, click on the like button, leave a comment. If you'd like a private reading, click on the link in the description box. It'll take you to my website. And in the meantime, have a wonderful holiday season. whatever you're celebrating, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, solstice. I hope you have a wonderful, happy, and healthy holiday. And, as we move into the new year, success in the new year ahead, and happy birthday. And I'll talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.